soon giving answer. I will try to answer this question. Actually, the paradigm of those all union, we can say nearly the same. Nearly the same. But the problem is the name. The name. The root of this paradigm actually is the process of the paradigm. We call it as Islamization of knowledge.
Yeah.
This is the root.
Yeah.
The root. But as a nation state, we little bit having problem about this. Islamization. Many people in this country, Islamization is the term that some give impression little bit dangerous. Some people feel uncomfortable with this terminology. Therefore, the substance of the Islamization is integration between modern science and the spirit of the teaching of Islam. The integration between Islamic science and quote-unquote secular sciences. The integration between the values of the Islam and the body of knowledge. The integration between spirit and the body. That's actually the essence of the paradigm. And the terminology we can using different technologies such as Jogja, using integration and interconnection, and in Malang using other terminology, Bandung and also the symbolization of the paradigm.
Yeah,
it is different.
That's right. I see here. I see the diamond.
Yeah,
the upside down diamond. I see in Surabaya. I see the pohon.
But especially in Wali Songo, why we are using the specific terminology? Because it has unity of science. Because we immerse or we transform in the later after the previous viewing. So we can see what happened in the previous viewing. For example, Uin Jogja. Also the name of the paradigm they use as in the integration interconnection. Actually, they emphasize on the humanization of Islamic sciences. Humanization of Islamic sciences. They didn't touch to the giving the values of modern sciences. They didn't give the spirit of secular sciences. What happened there in reality? It is different with the Win Malang. Win Malang, they emphasize on spiritualization of secular sciences. They little bit neglecting the Islamization, humanization of Islamic sciences. And we are transforming in the later time, in the after they transforming, we come after. Therefore, okay, we will try to make the paradigm more comprehensive, and we analyze that what happened actually in the integration of knowledge. We should do spiritualization of scholar sciences, and also humanization of Islamic sciences, and also because the root of the city, Semarang city, the central of Java, we feel that most of Indonesian people, current Indonesian people, having problem with the identity because of globalization, of modernization. Most of the people neglecting the local wisdom. So we are not only needing the humanization of Islamic sciences or spiritualization of scholar sciences, we also need revitalization of local wisdom as our identity. We don't want to produce the students, they are master in modern science, they are master in Islamic sciences. Meanwhile, in the same time, they are having disease, we call it as alienation. Alienation of the root of the culture. So therefore, we need more than you in Jogja, than in Malang, than in Jakarta. We need revitalization of the construction of these three points. We call it as unity of science. And in the Arabic terminology, wahdatul ulum, that it is interesting when one of our thinkers here proposed this name. Everyone agreed. Everyone agreed. It's interesting name.
Is that Ibn Arabi who
Yeah,
where
no,
does
Arabi, yes. Wahdatul wujud.
yeah, but not ulum.
Not all of the terminology. You know.
Al-ulum is one of the wujud,
Yes.
one of
Yeah.
being. So
Yeah.
we can reflect
Yeah.
from the concept of wahdatul wujud.
Yeah.
So we find wahdatul wujud.
And one of the exponent of this idea, Pak Musin. Pak Musin can explain more than me about this.
Yeah, this is of course fascinating. When I come in November, there was the conference, international conference with the University of Technology Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and they invite also Pak Amin Abdul.
Yes.
And he talks about the paradigms. And I thought he was critical of the idea of Islamization. And so he tried to explain why when Jogja decide not to call it Islamization of knowledge. And so it's interesting that you say, yeah, but we now have experience looking back already. Our transformation is happening now, we have experience. So we try not to not to be one-sided,
Yes.
but to have a comprehensive transformation.
I think it is different between Wali Songo paradigm and the other university, either in Malang, Jakarta, and Bandung, because be aware that there are three kinds of prime problem. The first one is like Pak Mohyar said, the crisis of modern sciences, because modern sciences split between soul and body, between material and spiritual. It is ignorant the problem in modern era, like so many sciences side, there is modern crisis, human crisis, and others. And the second one is about the unhuman of Islamic sciences, because the concern of the past Islamic sciences is about God, not human. So we call it as the science but unhuman. The third one is about the problem that emerge from two kinds of sciences, Islamic sciences and modern sciences. What is it? It is the destruction of local culture, destruction of local wisdom. We know because of modern science, because of implementation of modern science, I think there's so many environmental image, local cultural image, something like that. And and because of what is it, Islamic sense is there, not unhuman also, what is it, cause local image also, especially in culture. When we import Islamic senses that have root in particular area, for example, in the Middle East, for example, I think not most of the Islamic senses can connect with local culture. So this one also because of local culture image. So we have three problem. By looking three kind of problems, so we try to reconstruct new paradigms, as we call unit of senses, that try to unify three kind of science, Islamic sciences, modern science, and local culture.
And local wisdom,
yeah.
local knowledge.
As side, we have three strategy: spiritualization of modern sciences and humanization of Islamic sciences, and the second, the last one is revitalization of local culture.
Humanization, spiritualization,
Revitalization.
That sounds like a big challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but you're just starting.
Yeah.
And do you see already some, maybe in Ushuluddin or outside of Ushuluddin, already examples? Okay, it could look like this, or this is an area where we are already transforming the curriculum or the research, or how we make a new structure of the university to meet that new paradigm.
Yeah, we still start, we still in the process, of course. And first step, I think, is constructing. After we construct a new paradigm, then we follow by reconstructing curriculum, and I think not only curriculum, but also teaching methodology, teaching learning methodology, and the other one is how to integrate between research, education, and community services, because I think different between practice that not based on unity services and practice, education, research, and community services that based on unity services. I think will be different.
You know that last night our Vice President Yusuf Kala, when the country neighbor Indonesia refused to help Rohingya, but our Vice President, we have to help the
1 year.
We are big country, we have to help. That is our local culture. That is our local culture. That is actually, we are welcome to everyone who need help, and but we know that not all Indonesian Muslim people or Indonesian citizens know well about the root of this culture. Therefore, as Indonesian university, we have to reinstall to all new generation where that we have to revitalize our original culture. Some of the culture coming from the Islamic teaching, and some from the original indigenous wisdom. But we can learn more with the Rohingya. When one of my friends sent me a message, and the message is interesting, that Rohingya actually only one of the Muslim group in Myanmar. There are 7 groups in Myanmar, 7 Muslim groups in Myanmar, but the name of the group is Rohingya, cannot accommodate, cannot integrate with the Myanmar culture, the Buddhism culture. Therefore, the Sikh group, the rest of the group, accommodated by the Myanmar government. But one the Myanmar government cannot accommodate this what we say strong and hard rigid view on Islam, and we call it as Rohingya. So they viewed it forced to get out from the Myanmar. And if we learn deeply about the history of this country, actually the Islam, what kind of Islam come to this country? The Islam come to the kind of Islam come to the country in the history is the Sufistic Sufism, Islamic Sufism, not like Wahhabism or not like the Rohingya, for example. So Islam in this country, the most of the Muslims in this country, most of them are welcoming to the local culture, and we want to make this perspective continue, be installed to the new generation.
So when you think about the history of UN, because UN always, I mean Stein, EAN, UN, always, in my conversation, always characterized as very open, very accommodating. So where are some of the areas, maybe for Ushuluddin especially, where you say, oh yeah, this will be, we will work on it, but it will be easy because we already know how we do it. What are some of the areas where you say, oh yeah, the revitalizing local culture, humanizing Islamic sciences, spiritualizing outside sciences, we can do it easily?
I hope so.
Where do you see some already, success already?
Yeah, I think for Ushuluddin, now find something critical to integrate. What we say, three kinds of sciences: Western, Islam, and modern sciences. Because there is the root of intellectual tradition in Ushuluddin, very open for every intellectual tradition. That it is not happening in other faculty.
I mean you have in psychotherapy,
Yes.
you have tasawwuf and psychotherapy.
Yeah.
I see all the sociology, anthropology, and so forth.
In, for example, we have we can look at Aqidah Filsafat program, study program. All of the Islamic thought, secular, can be studied. Every student can learn all of the model of Islamic thought. Mu'tazilah, Jabariyah, Qadariyah, and all of the secular in the past period and the modern period can be learned by students. And this kind of model of learning have positive impact, and the student can open for all of the intellectual tradition design. So I think Ushuluddin will be more open to integrate modern and Islamic knowledge.
Because that's my experience too, that already at least the availability of this material in the curriculum has a long history, long tradition. So, how about local?
For most of Ushuluddin intellectual, I think that's not a problem, although there is small small lecture that reject local wisdom or local culture. It's because of one of ideology that they have. But I think we are still in process. We have to conduct dialogue every seminar, every conference, or this one. But I think no problem, because by existing of group that critical by with local culture, it will give the others to reflect, to deep learning about the local culture. That's no problem.
And you develop a culture also on campus that can have effect on students, on faculty, on administration. how do you how do you how do you avoid, I don't know, maybe theoretical such at this point, but how do you avoid studying Islamic sciences? Yeah, you humanize, and then you study so-called secular sciences, and you spiritualize, and then you study also local tradition to revitalize. How do you avoid just three different unconnected areas? How can you?
One of the way I think is multidisciplinary approach to study, and also interdisciplinary approach to study, so we can make the dialogue between discipline of study. So by research that use multidisciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, I think it will be combined between modern sciences, Islam, and local. And it start right now. As Pak Muhyar already done, we review all of the proposal, recent proposal for all of the lecture in this meeting. So we can look at the proposal. Is it have linkage with our paradigm or not? So we start with right now with research process, teaching learning process. And we start.
In our official document of Unity of Science, we have 5 principles how to do how to implement the Unity of Science. Number 1 is, I have to read. Number 1 is integration. Integration of the body of knowledge, all bodies of knowledge. We have to integrate. For example, in the complicated era of life, we cannot learn, for example, exegesis, Quranic exegesis, or tafsir Quran. We cannot learn about the Quran and not pay attention to the other discipline. Why? Because in the Quran, when we learn about the history, for example, about Ibrahim, for example, we need help to the other subject of the science, of course. When in the Quran we talk about lebah. What is lebah in English? Lebah. Bee, yes, bee.
Oh yeah, of course, the bee.
The bee. We need other sciences to make the explanation of the Quran can be understood well by the modern citizen or modern people. Therefore, the integration of all sciences in the world and the result of the human effort of the all of the world cannot help one group of these 3 groups: science of Islam, science, secular sciences, and so on. And the second principle is collaboration. Collaboration. That means that every achievement of knowledge or science should help other science to grow up, to also to achieve the good achievement for the next time. For example, the technology of space technology. USA, your country, is the leader of this kind of science. But the question is there life, smart life or smart creatures on the sky or in the sky? Until now, the modern space technology cannot answer that, except in the film or scientific film, what we say, technology film.
Science fiction?
Yeah, science fiction, except that. But in the Quran, we found it that actually in the sky we have smart creatures. Smart creatures. But we didn't prove, we cannot prove yet until now. But Quran steer us or help us to, okay, fine, with your own effort. Yeah, that's collaboration. Yeah, we call it as collaboration. And the third is dialectic. Dialectic. That means, we have a thesis in one science and antithesis and then synthesis and then so the grow up of the science will be dialectical, following the dialectic system. And the fourth is prospective. Prospective. What the means is we believe that learning all sciences with different ways, different approach, different methods will help or will produce new science, new contribution for human life. For example, one of my brother studying economics, and then he take in Australia for his master degree in forensic, and now he is working in KPK, you know, in Jakarta, KPK.
Verification
yeah. And I asked him, so what is your discipline actually? Accountants in economy or in law? No, I am an expert on forensic accountants.
Forensic accountant.
Yes, forensic accountant. Yeah, that's so. I remember this. Oh, this is combining new science.
Yeah.
Means prospective.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps in the next period of this university, we will produce new program. For example, religion and peace. For example, that's prospective.
Yeah.
The important thing, the science should have the life of human being become better.
Yeah.
And the last is pluralistic. That means all science having method, having approach, having what theories different. We have to acknowledge about it. We cannot refuse this kind of reality. But the important thing is also we have different and plural theory, method, and approach. But one thing that we have to understand what is the aims of developing science, not to the domination, not to the dominate of the nature, but to make our nature, our human being, and our environment better. That's our belief. 5 principles.
It's exciting for me because at the conference, at Fulbright conference, I talk a little bit